What's up everyone? Today's video, I'm going to go over the difference between a mutual fund, an ETF, and an index fund. I know this can get really confusing because there's just thousands and thousands of products for us to invest in. Everyone's got an opinion of what to do, so I'm going to break it down so you can move on and get your money working for you. All three of them are baskets of stocks. The stocks within a mutual fund have been hand selected by a professional money manager. This money manager thinks all of these stocks are going to do really well together in the coming year or however long they foresee. So what they'll do is they'll put all these stocks together, they'll wrap it up into a product called a mutual fund, they'll slap a fee on it. That fee is an annual fee that you typically don't see unless you hunt for it. So you really have to know what you're paying and getting into. Every once in a while, there are some really good money managers out there that make it worth investing in these mutual funds. But for the most part, statistics have shown that index funds or ETFs tend to do just as well as mutual funds without the high fee associated. So now, an ETF, known as an exchange traded fund, tracks an index. So instead of hand selecting what's inside this ETF, the ETF is the entire index that it's based upon. So let's say the S&P 500 is the index. That's 500 of America's largest companies. An ETF based on the S&P 500 would be all 500 of those stocks. Versus a mutual fund based on large companies, this money manager may say, okay, instead of all investing in all 500 of these stocks, I'm going to pick 25 of these 500 because I think they're going to do better than the entire 25 as a whole. So the ETF is the whole index, whether it's the S&P 500 or a different index. It's every single stock within that. And the mutual fund is a hand-selected group of stocks outside of an index. And the reason money managers do that is because they think that they can pick which stocks are going to do better versus the entire set of stocks. So an index fund that's based on the S&P 500 will have every one of the 500 stocks in it, just like an ETF would, but the difference is it trades like a mutual fund, which means it only trades once a day. You can buy it, but that order doesn't go through till the end of the day. And at that point, it's determined what the price will be. So this one isn't designed to be trading throughout the day like you could with an ETF, although it's really not recommended and they're not designed for that. But you have the freedom to do that with an ETF. The ETF and the index fund are very, very similar. Just think that the ETF is one that you can trade throughout the day, although you shouldn't, and an index fund is one that trades just once a day. At the end of the day, everyone gets the same price that bought it that day. Both index funds and ETFs are really low cost options. They are a great way to get invested without paying a huge fee. Those are the main things you need to know. Mutual fund, if you want somebody to hand pick what they think is going to do best, and you're going to pay a fee for that. An ETF, if you just want the simplicity of having an index fund and the ability to trade it at any point. An index fund, also very low cost, but prices just once a day. And then depending on the firm that you're at, some firms have no minimums to get invested in different products depending on what it is. Some have no transaction fee, ETFs or mutual funds. So take a look at the differences because some mutual funds charge a large percentage up front to get in, maybe 4 or 5%, whereas some mutual funds charge a certain percent every year and no fee to get in up front. But just look at the cost of the fund that you're getting into, and you can find that just by Googling it. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when my next video comes out. And if you have any other questions, let me know. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. You can shoot me a DM there anytime, and I will see you on the next video.